So today I'm going to talk about some of the key issues with the Ashkenazi world of Judaism. The main problem is lack of awareness or lack of understanding of the Jewish diaspora. In the 1960s, when many Jews from India and Ethiopia and all other non European places immigrated to Israel, the majority of the Ashkenazi white Jews complained that who is the Jew? So there is a huge debate who is a Jew, whether the Indians are Jewish or not. So there is a huge amount of discussion happens. So the Ashkenazi come to a conclusion that Indians are intermarried, so they are not Jewish. But recently, the Sephardic chief rabbi, Rabbi Obadiah Yosef, whose real name, born name is Abdullah. He's an Iraqi Sephardic Jew, but later he became a Sephardic chief rabbi of Israel. He concluded that Indian Jews are 100% Jewish. So even whenever I go somewhere, when I introduce myself, I'm Jewish. I'm from South India, from this place near Cochin, whatever I say. Even though I had to go through the gear process, as most of the non-white Jews had to go through the same kind of gear process when they landed in the land of Israel due to this racism by the white Ashkenazi Jews, and it's still going on, especially in North America. So, what's the problem here? What's the real problem here? The reason for this video, I'm not trying to be any kind of uh, bad personal thing against the white Jews. I'm not against any white Jew, but I'm exposing the ignorance and the basic knowledge of the other Jewish diaspora around the world. Take an example of Cochin Jews or the Malabari Jews, which is the modern day India, South India's Kerala state. The specific Jewish community is one of the oldest community, and the synagogue in this specific community is very old. It's like 800-year old synagogue. It's built nearly like 1200 before the Jews really settled well in Germany or in France. These people lived there before that. The problem with the Ashkenazi white Jews, they have this colonial mindset that thinking they are better than the other. So that's the problem. I won't blame them. The way they grew up, the way the school system they taught, the privilege they used to believe, they think they are the smart or whatever they think, but really it's not the real case scenario. And the next thing I see is the Yemeni Jew, the Indian Jews, and the Cochin Jews and the Sephardic Jews of North Africa are more authentic Jews than the Ashkenazi white Jews. Let me tell you why is the reason behind it. So when you read the book of Chronicle in the Jewish Bible, or as per the majority of world said as the Old Testament, whatever it is, but the Hebrew Bible Chronicles, you read about King Solomon, how he built the first temple, and how he sent his people as voyagers, explorers, to go around the world, to go to Ophir, to bring gold and peacocks and monkeys to the land of Israel to entertain the people. So if you use, the word for peacock, they translate as peacock, but it's kind of like a colorful bird. So where is this peacock really native to? It is native to the South India. It's native to China. It's native to India, like the modern day India. Again, when I talk about India, the modern people think it's kind of like a whole modern India, but technically in those times, 1,000 years back, 2,000 years back, it wasn't a country called India at all. It's a different kingdoms, different states based on their language. Take an example of Europe. You have German tribe with their own country. They have Gauls, the French-speaking country. You have Polish-speaking country. But uh, collectively, you say European Union, but technically they are different language, different countries. So before the British, so India was like this. The modern day India was like this. The southern India is called Tamilagam or Tamil, like the kingdoms of Tamil kings. There are three different kingdoms rule the south part of the modern India called Chera, Chora, and Pandya. So the Chera, that's why the modern state of Indian state Kerala get the name, like Kerala becomes Kerala. So it was ruled by the Tamil kings. The modern day Malayalam is nothing but a new slang or new vernacular version of the ancient Tamil. And the modern Tamil also is splitted from this ancient Tamil. So the ancient Tamil is completely different. The Paleo Tamil is completely different. So these, instead of calling them as Jews, they are the Israelites, the native Israelites, Bene Israel, during the time of King Shlomo, King Solomon, Me'eretz ad Darom, ad Hodu, Darom Hodu Darom. So they came to the south part of the modern day India through the Saudi Arabia to the Red Sea, via Arabian Sea, and then to the land of the Cochin. So that's a tradition, but unfortunately, many white Jews, I don't mean to offend them, but it's really unfortunate. They think if Judaism is kind of like a European religion, Judaism is kind of like only belongs to the Americans or Europeans. No, like there are Jews all across the world. You have Ethiopian Jews who are black Jews, but unfortunately the Ashkenazi call them as converts. Even the Yemeni Jews, they say converts. If all these Jews are converts, how it's possible the European Jews become the native Jews, suddenly? Like I completely hate about this. And the other thing is the other European version of Judaism, like Reform Judaism and conservative Judaism, was born in Germany. You know, so technically, even the white European Jewish sect called Ashkenazi Jews, the Orthodox version, they don't consider the Reform Jews as the authentic Jew. So if a Reform Jew need to go back to the Orthodox, they had to go back through the conversion process by going through the Beit Din, the rabbinic Beit Din, the Jewish court, by three rabbis. So the problem here is very critical. There is still racism, even in Judaism, between Jews. So what's the real reason? Because of the European Jews, because of the colonized Jews, the way how they colonized by their previous ancestors, they just try to do it, and the same thing we see right now unfortunately, in the land of Israel. So when we made our aliyah, and we moved to Israel. We were living in Israel, so we were trying to settle in one of these settlements in the West Bank or Judea Shamron, whatever you name it. So we went to a city called Shave Shamron and another city in the south called Susia. So both of the city, even though if you're a Jew or observant Jew, whatever Jew you are, you have to go through a process. You have to reach out to a community head in that specific settlement, and they will go through an interview: who you are, where are you from, what is your background, blah blah blah, something like that, and they have to approve. One thing, unfortunately, two times we were rejected, even though we were observant, even though we are having a lot of desire to live in the land of Israel. We were rejected. You know why? What's the reason? Because those community were secular European Jews. That's a problem. And it's very funny that one of the family who are who were helped to set up a Shabbat night. In Ashkenazi they say Shabbos, whatever you name it, but I use the Sephardic pronunciation, like Shabbat night. So these guys invited us to see how the settlement is. So we went there and we had dinner. Like we felt very awkward because of cultural difference or whatever you say. So they treat differently, even if you're a different kind of a Jew. If you're an Indian Jew, or if you're a Yemeni Jew, if you're an Ethiopian Jew. I don't know why is that like that, but humans are humans, at one point. So don't think Jews are really against the Palestinians. No, Jews are really not treating the other Jews, first of all. So that's the core problem of the issue here. So they invited us. The lady, the head of that family, the lady serving us the dinner, she was a convert. Convert means converting to Judaism. So she was a German convert from Germany, and she married to this Israeli guy. So they have a huge number of children. So we went there, and one thing, they rejected us. I don't know what is the reason, but I suspect the reason might be because of my background, because I'm not a white Jew. I'm not a white European Jew. So they will accept a convert from Europe. The same thing, I know many white converts who are easily get into these settlements because of their ideology, because they are from Europe, blah blah blah. So this issue is a problem. Also, when the non-European Jews arrived to Israel, so the European Jews took all the nice green northern Israel, and then they gave the desert southern Israel to these Arab Jews, to the Indian Jews in Beersheba, the Erucham, all these places. You see this colonization, what's going on here. So the problem here, everything is politically correct here. Everything is correct. You need to be correct, especially in the Americas. If you say you are a Jewish, the expectation is, wow, you must be a white guy. Why? Because in America, majority of the Reform Jews are living in America are from Europe. The Sephardic or Mizrahi or all other types of Jews are very less in America. That's a problem. So my main goal for this video to condemn the racism in Judaism, the racism because of the white Jews supremacy. It is there. It is there. It's not going anywhere. And I personally experience a lot of things like that. And like me, lot of Jews. Like when I went to Netivot near Baba Saleh, I met a Tunisian Jew from Tunisia. So I had a chat. I said, I'm near Cochin, I'm a Jew, like this. He said, wow, nice. So they accepted me, right away. But what they said, אנחנו לא יודעים מה זה אשכנזים, איזה הם באו, like where they are coming from. We really don't know. They're suddenly coming into the history and claiming themselves Jew. Even if you look into the problem right now with the Zionism, the current Israel-Palestine conflict, it's because of the European Jews. It's not anti-Semitic, but that's the truth. Let me tell you why. So Zionism started by a person called Theodor Herzl, right? So what's his background? What's his Jewish background? Is he a Orthodox, authentic Jewish? No. His Judaism is nothing to do with Orthodox Judaism. He's a new, enlightened, new kind of Jewish sect called Neo-Judaism, Neo-Lag Judaism, which is one of the sectarian group in Hungary, in Europe. So this guy, and since Martin Luther back in the Europe when he reformed the Christian church, even though he reformed the Christian church, he still hated the Jews of Europe, not the North African, not the Yemeni Jew and not the Cochin Jew. Those Jews are still living happily there without any anti-Semitism. But because of the Christianity Judaism conflict, in the name of religion, Jews were tortured. No matter you're Orthodox or non Orthodox or newly created new schism, Jews were attacked. So, what's the solution? We need to find a new state because we are not considered as citizens in any of these states, the Christian states. They are forbidding us to take in certain government role or something like that. So the only option is to build our own state. So you just imagine this idea is nothing to do with Judaism. It's nothing to do with the Jewish Torah, the Hebrew Torah. It's about any kind of secular nationalist people want their home country, like in Sri Lanka, how the Tamils want their same country, separate country, how in Quebec wanted their own country, in French people. So it's the same, like it's about a country, a system where the European Jews can part of the system, can handle the system. And the initial Zionists proposed the places like Uganda program in Africa and in Argentina. So when these programs were rejected, you know why? Because it's not authentic. Because the Orthodox community in Europe opposed the Zionist idea, opposed this secular Zionism. They hijacked Judaism, they hijacked the Torah. And we don't know whether the real Jews are not. According to the Jewish halakha, they're not Jewish, but they claim themselves as Jewish, and that's what's still happening in America and Europe and all over the world. If you're a white, you are a Jew. If you're not a white, you may not be a Jew, or you may be a convert. So God is watching this. If there is a God, if you believe in a God or whatever. So when there is injustice between your people, you get a hit. I know a Bedouin friend through one of my American Jew back in Nativot. So he's a very nice guy. We used to go with him. We used to talk with him. I didn't have any problem with this Bedouin. But if you ask any European or these Zionist guys, they don't want to touch. They will say, "Oh, those are animals." Coyote, bema, whatever. The problem, the root cause of the problem, they don't follow the real Torah taught by the ancestors. They don't know the ancestors, first of all. They don't know the value of the Torah. They don't know who's Abraham, who's Isaac, who's Jacob. They just go blindly with their rabbis. If their rabbis tell to eat whatever, they will go and eat. If their rabbis tell to dance with a woman, they will go and dance. That's what their Judaism all about. And unfortunately, the world believes that's the Judaism. But that's not the Judaism. Judaism is more than that. So, with a great pain, I left Israel and I moved back to United States. But still, I'm going through the same issue. Wherever we go, we had to explain who we are, where we are. But it's very unfortunate to see if a convert from Europe comes in, they won't ask a single question, they're a convert or not. But even most of the Indian Jews are suffering a lot. The native Jews who were born. I know a friend back in Nativot who used to say, it's very hard. It's very hard, my friend. These Ashkenazi, they're terrible, terrible, terrible. So, it's just my, flow from my heart. The experiences what I gone through, and these guys won't reconcile. They just carry. They only think about their money. They only think about their status. That's it. They don't care about how to treat a fellow human. They won't care about how to help a person in need. Those who are in need, they won't consider anything. And that's the main problem. The modern Judaism facing this issue as a main problem. There is no kindness. There is no godliness. It's all about rabbis, rock stars. Like rabbis are the rock stars. So that's the huge issue, my friends. So thanks for watching.